Good evening, friends. And today we are going to have a future trend. Normally we do it on Friday, but for a change, we are doing on Thursday purely because Thursday is reserved for our PMS customer, and we are making some strategic announcement tomorrow for the PMS investors, and hence this webinar on future trend has been preponed. So we are going to discuss some interesting data points. If you remember, in our future trend, we did mention that India's weightage in MSCI index is going to go up, and that has happened. We talked about water reservoir level that's going down, and city like Bombay very soon will have water cut. But make no mistake, many cities will see a water cut kind of a scenario purely because of not so great monsoon, severe or not so cold winter, and that's all resulting into a low water reservoir level, and that's what's going to happen. One good thing that is happening right now as we speak is that there are indication. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but the next monsoon should be relatively better as compared to what we had experienced last year, purely because of El Nino impact petering out. So I think that's one good news, but we need to wait and watch. So before I start my future trend and very interesting data point, I have looked at more macro points. I wanted to understand what's happening. But before that, just a general disclaimer that this webinar is only for an education purpose. Please consult your financial advisor before buying or selling any stock. Remember, investment in securities market are subject to market risk, and past performance is no indicator of future returns. So there are total 6, and let me start with the market turning volatile. And I've got some disturbing messages on the WhatsApp and social media that people have lost very heavily in the intraday trading. And if you look at this market, has become extremely volatile. And I think the bank nifty seems to be the one big culprit where many people seems to have lost money big time. So while we are very close to all-time high, people have lost money. Now, why the market has turned volatile, there are reasons for that, because there is a one string which bull is pulling, bull is pulling another string which is bear is pulling, and there is a tug of war happening between the bull and bear, and market is not giving any firm indication which direction. You will be surprised to know that the Sensex YTD is little negative, while Nifty is mildly. So in other words, we have gone nowhere point to point in 2024 in terms of Sensex and Nifty, and yet a lot of things are happening at the beneath the surface, and that's what has happened. So what I've done this time when our future trend analysis, that how many days market moved up or down by more than 1% versus last year, because then the comparison will make sense. Am I right? If you look at 2023, total 246 days of 246 trading days were there, okay, of which 13 days market moved up by more than 5%. That was 2020 was a very good month, a good year for everyone. On 14 days, market moved down by more than 1%, so total 11% हुआ. In 2024, that number has gone to 22%, double. More than 1% to this one. And my sense right now, that this is not going to subside. Now someone may argue कि 2024 को तो थोड़े ही दिन हुए, how can you make a general statement? I'm not making general statement, but my sense is that this is going to remain volatile. please, my request to all of you, be careful. Don't do intraday. Be careful of what you are getting into. Otherwise, the messages that I'm getting on a social media are quite disturbing. And the reason why they're disturbing because of the market volatility has gone up substantially. And it will remain as so. If not increase, it will remain so in this kind of a this. And that will not be very happy sign for the investors. So be careful. Market is volatile and will remain volatile in the weeks to come. Every day some events are happening globally, some events are happening locally, and that is impacting market sentiment. You are now forgetting also market mein kya because kabhi upar hota, kabhi niche hota, we don't know what's going happening, am I right? And that's a very, and even if you look at this advanced decline ratio between BSE 500, it is more advanced than the decline, I must tell you that. But it's not significantly more advanced than the decline YTD. So, and normally this kind of volatility means market can move up or move down in either way very significantly. It can happen. I'm not saying it will happen, it can happen. Because that's what the historical trend has been suggesting. We need to wait and watch. And that's why I've been advising investors time and again, be careful of what you are getting into. Otherwise, I don't want you to incur. There is a high probability, I again repeat, there is a high probability that the money that you made in 2023 can wiped out in 2024 if you don't apply the common sense and if you don't apply discipline and the patience. That can happen very badly. Now, market has been volatile, and this time I picked up some data on the commodity side, on the FMCG side, and so on and so forth. Wanted to say you something what is happening. So, sugar has been one topic that has been in a discussion for quite some time, and I've been keep getting a lot of questions from our investors also. Why? Because the monsoon was not so great, so there is a expectation that sugar production would be less in India. Fearing that sugar price may go up, Government of India basically came out with some restriction of how much you can basically divert to the ethanol manufacturing. Now the fact is that the world production in sugar season is going to be higher than what it was there last year. So if you look at it last year, the totally 178.5 million ton has been produced globally, and this year is expected to 179. So marginal increase of 0.6%. So the sugar production is going to go up in this sugar year. But India is going to see a decline of 4% mainly because of Maharashtra and the Karnataka. On the top of it, in Uttar Pradesh, the local government increased the state advisory price. That means the sugarcane that you buy from the farmers, that has gone up. So on one hand, there is a restriction on what you can do, and on the other hand, your input cost has gone up. Now, one way the sugar company can improve their efficiency and by getting more yield on the sugar cane, that's one way you can get it. It's not easy. So now, and due to that, some of the companies that manufacture ethanol plant have also come under selling pressure. But when you listen to what has been said by the companies, one thing is clearly coming out, because government has been playing little safe. Why it is playing little safe? Purely because it's an election year. You have to keep farmers happy by increasing the SAP, and you need to keep consumers like you and me happy by not allowing sugar prices to go up. So by restricting the quantity that can go to ethanol, the government is ensuring that there is a more sugar production. If there is a more sugar production, despite sugar production is less, we will not see any kind of a price going up for the sugar, because that can pinch the retail customer, and that's not something happy sign for the election year. So if you look at it, India's production is going to come down from 32 to 31.5. Domestic this is a consumption, it's a spelling error there, is going to go up a little bit. But yet, India's closing stock, which will be 5.6 this year, will go to 8.4 million metric ton by end of the season. Now, what does this mean? This means that sugar companies' working capital cycle is going to go up. Now, what does this mean? It means that my interest cost, that's a sugar company interest cost, is going to go up. So what we are saying right now, most of the sugar companies will see their interest cost going up. So if you are looking at the sugar companies, please be mindful of which company, what kind of borrowings they have. Probability is very, very high that you would see the interest cost further going up. So while government wants to protect farmer, government wants to protect retail customers, but that will come at the cost of sugar companies. Now the question, so don't get confused with the business outlook with the stock market outlook, because they both can move in a contra manner. Why? Because market, it's all depending on how much market has already discounted this and how much market has not discounted that. But do expect sugar companies to come out with not so great financial numbers for a couple of quarters. Monsoon is very critical, and our sense is that whatever the step government has taken will remain in place till the elections are over. And again, because government ethanol blending program is, they are very firm on that. They don't want to basically abandon that program. So eventually this restriction will get lifted, but don't expect that to happen before the election. So I think inventory is going to go up, which in other words, this looks a little tough year, but the next year it looks a little good for the sugar companies. Again, don't get confused with the business outlook with the sugar companies outlook. So depending upon whether you're a tea lover, you're a coffee lover. If you remember in one of the trend analysis, future trend analysis, we discussed about the onion. So if you are a tea lover, the good news is that you will spend less money. But if you are a coffee lover, you will have to pay higher prices. So I am a tea lover. I don't know how about you, but Amir, आप क्या लगता है? Tea, chai, coffee या chai या coffee? Chai. He is also a tea lover. चलो. So I think it's a good news for us because the prices are going to come down. So if you are planning to buy tea, you can expect your budget on tea going down. But if you're a tea or coffee lover, your budget is going to go up. Even the cocoa price has gone up, and if you have celebrated your Valentine's Day yesterday and given a gift, a chocolate gift, and you would have realized the prices have gone up. Am I right? So if you look at this data, what you see, the green line on the topmost is a Kenya price. Kenya is one of the largest producers of tea. Then we have a North India and the South India tea. Am I right? So what you see, this is a South India tea. And this is a North India tea. So tea prices have started going down. From 128 is coming down to 106. The same way, what we call it was 197 has come down to 180. So tea price, both South and North India has come down. But in Kenya, prices have gone up a little bit in one quarter. But you do expect prices to come down. So if you are going to buy tea, you will pay less. But coffee has gone up. 150. There are two kinds of coffee: Arabica coffee and Robusta coffee. I don't want to go and explain that, but you can do Google search and you can get an idea. 156 to 195 and 122 to 151. And look at in one quarter, that is 174 to 195 and 120 to 151, it's gone up. It is going to pinch you, whether you like it or not. If you don't want your budgets to go out of a control, on a lighter note, move to the tea lover. आपको चाय ले पसंद कर लो, लेकिन अगर नहीं करना तो you ready to pay prices of coffee little higher. Our sense is that it will remain little higher at least for one more quarter, if not more. Okay, and tea prices will remain quite competitive in the months to come. So chai ke paise kam ho gaya. This is one of the interesting data that I looked at it and I thought, let me say, when I was looking at the US companies commentary, reading the US company commentary, I've been reading Indian companies commentary. If you look at some of the QSR companies, the quick service restaurant, the likes of Jubilant, likes of Sapphire, likes of apna McDonald, that is Westlife, and so on and so forth. Everyone has been saying that there is a slowdown in their consumption. So even if you look at the same store growth, it has seen a decline there. If you happen to listen to the McDonald of the world, Starbucks and other the QSR company, they all are saying that higher prices are pinching the customers and they have basically stopped buying or they're buying little less. Something similar is there with the FMCG companies also. The reason I'm discussing this, I wanted to drive home the point that consumption basket seems to be coming under pressure. So what is happening? There's like some kind of a K-shaped kind of a scenario where luxury things are getting little more and more. Demand is good. But what is looking like a economy or maybe premium or bridge to premium, I think that kind of a category is facing some kind of a resistance. It's not growing. In fact, it's coming down. In fact, if you look at this data, the 4-year CAGR. Why 4-year CAGR? Because then you are comparing pre-COVID to now. And if you look at the FMCG, because FMCG stands for what? Fast moving consumer goods. I want to harp on the word fast. But look at it. It's purely a slow lane. It's not fast moving. It's slow moving. Okay? And why am I saying so? Because if you look at all India, it's between somewhere 2 to 3%. What you see in the grey is for the December 2023 versus Q2 of that is September 2023. Some improvement, not so great improvement. Urban again near about 2.5%, and rural continues to remain little sluggish as compared to the urban. But growth has been very, very subdued, 3% kind of stuff, which is not good. And if you look at the HPC, that is health and I'm again forgetting packaged goods. HPC stands for something different. Health and I'm not getting the word, but I'll come back to you. And the food growth. If you look at the food, seems to have done better as compared to the HPC growth. But there are messages coming out very loud and clear that consumption basket seems to be taking a beating. And I think it's not only with the FMCG. It's if you look at the QSR, they are saying something very similar kind of stuff. So there is some kind of a slowdown that we are seeing in consumption, and a consumption as a basket. Those who are consumer-facing company, the numbers may not come out so great for the March quarter. That's what our analysis suggests us, and of course we'll keep updating you as and when some new data comes in. Even if you look at this Nielsen, which came out with the prediction, and I have not put that prediction in this, but I'll tell you that Nielsen came out with the prediction saying that FMCG value growth in 2024 would be between 4.5% to 6.5%. Okay, in 2000 as compared to 9.3% in 2023. So what are we saying? We are almost saying collapse of 30 to 40% value growth for the FMCG companies in 2024. So this data with AC Nielsen, what is happening globally, I think they all corroborate to the one fact that the consumer-facing companies may have little tough time. Now again, consumption only, and when I was and this data comes as a big surprise to me. I always thought that premium would be accounting with the larger kind of a chunk in the Indian footwear industry. But what is a surprise to me is that 48% of the footwear industry is accounted by less than 1,000 rupees price. In fact, it has come as a big surprise actually to me, because I thought anything about 2,000-3,000 rupees would be accounting for the larger chunk of the footwear industry, and that's the thing. But one thing which caught my attention was that sports and athleisure business is going to do extremely well. Why I'm saying so? Because if you look at it in FY 2021, they are 90. It's going to likely to go to 220. This is, I think, in billion rupees billion. That's the data, yeah. So it's going to go up significantly. But so my suggestion would be that if you want to take exposure to the athleisure, the footwear business, focus on those companies which have a larger revenue coming for sports and athleisure, because that's going to do extremely well. Another thing which is going to do well is also casual, which is a kind of this one, which is going to go from 324 to 662. So in a words, what I'm trying to say is that if you're basically looking at your business, looking at the footwear company, please look at the footwear company which has a more revenue coming from the casual or the sports and athleisure, because these companies are going to make a lot of money for the investors. So my suggestion would be these are in rupees billion. Look at those companies. But again, the industry is driven by the less than 1,000 rupees. And I think that's where, and even if you look at the 1,001 to 1,500, that's now 16%. So anything less than 3,000 footwear, 87% is accounted by that. So, we look at the likes of Nike and likes of Reebok and Adidas and so on and so forth. They are anyway not very big in overall pie. In India, I think people prefer to have a value-based buying rather than, so I think it's more of a urban phenomena, I don't think it's going to be the case. And it's more to be but having said that, going forward, probability is very high that as the people's purchasing power goes up, the segment which is accounting only 13% right now can go up significantly high. Now let me go to the cement. In a very interesting data, because that gives you a pulse of what's happening in the infrastructure side. Am I right? Because cement, the one infrastructure in cement goes hand in hand. Am I right? So what I've done actually, if you look at the data, of course we have taken the data from Ultratech presentation. So volume growth is there for each and every region, whether it's so north, central, east, west, south. So each and every region has seen a growth in the cement demand. But there are different drivers for that. For example, in north, while the overall is positive, it is driven by infrastructure and commercial. But housing and rural has basically have reported negative demand growth for the cement. Am I right? For central, it's ticking each and every box, whether it's infrastructure, commercial, housing, rural. When you come to the east, is exactly opposite of what is happening in the north. While in north, infra and commercials are positive, in east, infra and commercials are negative. In north, housing and rural are negative. In east, housing and rural are positive. So you can see kind of a divergence that's happening. The one good thing I must tell you is that the infrastructure seems to be doing extremely well, and that's one thing which has been driving demand for the cement. And due to that, if you look at the relation which I have taken for top three companies, they have marginally gone up: 5469 to 55, 5349 to 549, 4843 to 5006. So realization has gone up, but make no mistake that demand is going up, but at the same time supply is also going up. There is a competition happening, in the sense mergers and acquisitions happening, consolidation is happening, and that's not going to allow cement companies to see further hike in the realization. There will be some kind of a what we call speed breaker that can come in and will not. But those who are little mid and small cap size cement companies, there is a fair possibility that we can expect some kind of a mergers and acquisition, purely because today to acquire existing cement company is cheaper as compared to doing a brownfield or a greenfield expansion. There's another data and which came as a big surprise and which shocked to me. Why I'm saying so? Because if you look at the FY 2024, most probably will have a less inflow in the mutual fund scheme. Not only the less inflow as compared to FY 2023, but even to the FY 2022. It came as a big surprise to me because I always keep reading. Now, see, if you remember in January, very record inflow came, net inflow came, almost about 22,000 crore. Assume that we are going to have very similar kind of a number even for the month of Feb and March, yet this number would be less than what has been reported for the FY 2022. And what does this mean actually? It does mean that, so there is no outflow, but I think people are putting less money in the mutual fund than what they used to do it. Number one, there is while SIP is getting you an inflow, I think people are locking in some profits or are frustrated with the fact that mutual funds are not making as much money they were supposed to make because of underperformance. Is it because of profit booking, or they are finding some other avenues to put? I don't know what that other avenue would be right now. But the fact of the life is that net inflow to the mutual fund schemes are going to lower than in FY 2024, lower than FY 2023, as well as FY 2022. FY 2021 does not make sense because that was a COVID year. Am I right? That is April 2020 to March 2021. And we got hit by COVID in March 2020. That must have impacted this one, and there is an outflow. So, point I wish to say, we do all know that the Indian mutual funds are countering, Indian retail investors are countering the FI outflow. But if the mutual fund industry inflow comes down, then it becomes a little difficult to take on the FI's outflow. So this data comes. So there are three possible reasons. One is the book profit. Second thing, investors want to do on their own. So they will be getting out of mutual fund and want to do on their own. And number three is that people are finding other avenues to park their fund. They are not happy with the performance. Major events: US inflation disappointed the market. India's retail inflation came down 3-month low to 5.1. S&P 500 first time in the US crossed 5,000 level. FVF turned net buyers in last couple of days, but still they are overall net sellers for the month of Feb. And India's weightage in MSCI index moved to 18.2% as compared to 13.2% of Feb 2023. India is now at number 2, surpassing weightage. The China was number 2 in terms of weightage. India is now become number 2. Ahead of us is definitely China. With this, let's open the floor for question answer. Sandeep, greetings of the day. Request you to kindly conduct one webinar on retirement plan regards. No, Sandeep Kumar sir, you are right. We had promised also. I have requested Mohit because Mohit is the best person to do that. And in fact, Mohit got a very nice email yesterday or today from one of our investors where he could save substantial amount on the housing loan. So he's basically, he was kind nice on his part to write an email to us saying that I've saved, so because of your housing loan webinar, he could save the money. So let me see what is the amount he said, because he did mention the amount. Only thing I am not able to remember, but I'm just searching for his email because that's a very nice and nice to get this kind of email purely because it does gives us a satisfaction. Okay, our webinar, which are practical in terms of this one, is making a lot of. So what he said is that he could reduce EMI of 2.5 years and translating to savings of more than 10 lakhs. 10 लाख का वो मोहित के एक वेबिनार से उनको फायदा हो गया. Why? Because he could able to negotiate the margin which was 3.5% to 1.8%. That's what he has said, this gentleman. And that's why I think the Mohit is the best person to do that webinar for retirement planning. I have requested Mohit. Mohit is a little traveling, he's a little busy, but it's on the agenda. It's not that I forgot about it. And Mohit has promised me, Sunil, that I'll do that retirement planning webinar. And very soon, tomorrow Mohit will be there with me for our, if you're a PMS customer, please come and again put this question. And I think Mohit will definitely give an answer to that. But it's definitely on due. It definitely is on the card. So we are going to do retirement planning. It's just a matter of whether we can do it in the month of Feb or we can do it in the month of March. In fact, we also suggested so the discussion and deliberation we did, sir, is that a retirement planning for someone at the age of 50 to 60 bracket is a little different as compared to someone who is in the bracket of 40 to 50. And the same way, someone in the region of 30 to 40. Am I right? So we discuss, Mohit and I discuss on that. Okay, how do we tackle this retirement planning webinar? Should we, in the one webinar only, we said, okay, sabke liye ye hai, or we further drill it down and say, okay, this is the planning, retirement planning, if you wish to do, those for 30 to 40, 40 to 50 and 50 to 60. So we also discuss and deliberated that. We are making a content for that because we need to make a fresh content for that. So maybe in the month of February, maybe in the month of March, we should be in front of you with that. Mohit will be in front of you and we'll make the presentation there. Rahul Kumar, are you actively booking profits in railway and defense stocks, and which gas companies would benefit from falling natural gas price and risk of windfall tax ignored by oil stocks? So normally we don't discuss, sir, on a public forum what we are doing booking profits in railway or defense stocks because we are we don't want to divulge information to our non-PMS customers. If you are PMS customer, please come and ask in PMS webinar and I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. But we don't discuss our strategy of PMS, which is an open forum where PMS as well as non-PMS customers are attending that. Your question of which gas companies would benefit from falling natural gas prices. So I think, sir, we need to understand the gas companies may not get benefit, but I think those who consume gas, I think they will see the benefit coming in, whether it's a tiles company that required gas, whether it's a fertilizer company, they could get the benefit. The gas companies per se will not get much of a benefit. And is the risk of windfall tax ignored by all stocks? See, windfall tax, sir, is keep moving up and going down. You know, it's like they've been adjusted fortnightly, if my memory serves me right. Market seems to have ignored that. There seems to be, now I was reading one article which said that the OMC are basically losing money by selling petrol, by diesel, sorry. And they're making some profit in terms of petrol. Now there is one rumor which says that the government will reduce the price of diesel and petrol before the election to ease the burden of a Aam Aadmi. Whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know. In case if that happens, then who's going to bear that? Is it the OMCs are going to bear that, or is the government is going to basically fund them? We don't know. So there are risks attached to the oil companies as we speak. We don't know what's in windfall tax. Those are, it applies only to a couple of companies, Reliance, ONGC, and Oil India, because they only produce gas. No one else basically produce the crude. Sorry, I mean to say. So that's the thing, sir. So that's how it is basically. Market has its own wisdom, has its own logic. You can't define them in the short run. Eventually, in the long run, it's only the fundamental that reflects in the sale price. Suresh and Anurag, what can be impact of the market in view of the SC judgment declaring electoral bonds are unconstitutional? So we all know this announcement or verdict came when the market was open, trading was on, and we did not see any impact. My sense is that there will not be any impact. I think by 9th of March, I think SBI has been asked to put and disclose the names. It will get followed. Who knows? It can be challenged also. But will that have any impact? The answer is no. I don't think there's going to impact. If at all there will be impact, maximum 1 day, not beyond that. Nilesh, sir, last time I asked about the minimum number of stocks in a considered portfolio, but you told me maximum should be 10 to 15. Can it be 3, 4 using Mojo stock? Yes, it can be 3, 4 using Mojo stocks. That's not a problem. Sir, that's not a problem. You can go till 20 also, that's not a but only thing you should be able to monitor it very closely. 15 is ideal if you ask me. 10 to 15, 10 will become too concentrated. I don't know whether you'll be able to manage it such as concentrated portfolio 10 stocks ka. It's also a function of what is your portfolio size and so and so. Make it 15 to 20 is fine, Nilesh. Can it be 3, 4 using Mojo stocks? It can be. But then what else would be? If you are not only 3, 4 only from Mojo stock, you mean to say the other Mojo 1 strategy. But then we can choose based on your risk appetite, what you wish to do. But yes, if to give an answer, Nilesh ji, yes, answer is yes. Sandesh Prabhu say, all I hear chai wala. Sir, how do you know all I hear chai wala? There will be some coffee wala also. The only thing, you may be Sandesh ji, chai wala. But I'm so sure there will be many people who would be coffee wala also. But anyway, it's a lighter note. I was just saying, coffee wala, you switch to chai wala, but it's very difficult to break that habit. My daughter, she doesn't drink tea, but she loves coffee, you know. So, but both me and my wife, we are both the chai lover. So, you know, sometimes you may not be there, but someone in your family must be coffee lover. And what happens? You need to look at your family budget, isn't it? So that's how it works. No, sir. Insurance companies already started covering, sir. Why you are saying it's pending to be covered, sir? If you look at our this one, we already started rating all the insurance company. So I'm just looking at, sir. No, we are rating all the insurance company. Please go to the website, sir. We are rating all the companies of insurance. Let me see another, because one, I've seen life insurance. Now let me say non-life insurance also. You're right, non-life insurance not been yet be rated. I don't know why. Okay, I'll just get it done. The logic and everything has been given. I don't know why it has not been done. I'll get it done, sir. Don't worry. You're right, it's not done. So life insurance is available, non-life is not available. Bala Sundaram, in sugar companies for 200 estimate does not change exports. Are we assuming zero exports for? Yes, sir. You're right, sir. There is no export. Your observation is absolutely right. Government is unlikely to give any. See, the reason, sir, it makes little logic. Sir, why did they? See, we import crude. Okay. Now, if you allow less ethanol to go to the blending, that means we need to import more crude. The reason why government is basically, despite we import crude, reduce the ethanol diversion, sugar juice to the ethanol diversion purely because they did not want sugar price to go up. Now, it would be foolish on the government part कि तुम export allow कर देगा and then you put a restriction on the ethanol. It doesn't make sense. So the assumption, yes, we are right, zero export in this sugar season, purely because they don't want sugar prices to run up, which could be not be very effective during the election year. See, one thing I really like about you people are very observant. What I'm making, and you go through the details of my presentation in a very minute manner. That's a very good observation. What I also loved about you people is that you are very thinking and your memory is good. I distinctly recollect one of the webinars once someone asked me what I presented 2 months back, and he said, "Sir, आपने ये बोला था ये इसका हुआ ऐसा हुआ," and I was really surprised and amazed, that people take so much interest in terms of, and they basically jot down. In fact, distinctly someone wrote back to me on my Twitter handle that this gentleman, what I predicted in January 2023, he reproduced what I predicted, and he said, "Sir, आपका ये सही था, ये सही था, ये सही था." So that kind of a detail people go and they jot down in their diary and other stuff. So that's a very, very good thing. Om Prakash, sir, I have invested in model portfolio only. In view of the markets, do I need to worry? No, sir, you don't have to worry if you have invested in the model portfolio. My last year, 2 returns been good. Appreciate your guidance. Om Prakash ji, in model portfolio, we will advise you when to exit. Once we advise you exit, we'll tell you which new company to buy. And we'll also tell you how much you should allocate. You don't have to worry at all if you're in a model portfolio. The worry is those investors who are doing on their own, who are doing intraday trading, those who are going into futures and options, those who are doing herd mentality, those who are not having a proper allocation in terms of market cap, in terms of sector, in terms of stock. They will have to worry because 2020 was easy money making. 2024 is going to be a little tough in that sense. So you don't have to worry, sir. And Om Prakash ji will always be there to guide our investors. You don't have to thank us for this. It's our job. It's our duty. Prakash Dhamechai is saying, in PMS, can I invest fresh funds in SIP within 3 monthly payments? Yes, sir, you can do that. So when you give additional investment form, give every month that amount. You don't say एक साथ 3 महीने का मत दे देना. Okay, for example, if you wish to invest 30 lakhs additional, I'm just giving an example. 10 lakhs का पहले दे देना. Next month again give 10 lakhs and next another 3 months. But I would suggest don't do monthly. Do 2 months, once in 2 months. That's what I would request you to spread out your additional investment. Amruta saying, I'm very confused. Oh, sorry. Please help. Of course, we'll help you, ma'am. By the time we buy a stock on Mojo recommendation, it can give any profit. Mojo has exited the stock and already given us another stock recommendation. How do we tackle this? And it can give any profit. Mojo has exited that stock and already given us another stock recommendation. How can we tackle this? Ma'am, your question is not very clear, but let me make an attempt. How can we bear so much loss as our resources are limited? How does Mojo enter and exit so soon? Is the analysis not done past reports? Please help. So, please pardon me, and I'm making upfront if I have not understood your question correctly. So, based on whatever my understanding, if I'm understood your question is that you have a limited resources for buying, and you are referring to the Mojo stock where some company may have come as become a Mojo stock and then exited the part of Mojo stock list. Okay. So when the stock must have entered, must have entered at a higher price, and by the time it exited Mojo stock list, it may have been down, and hence you may have incurred loss. So let me clarify here. When company becomes a Mojo stock, it is a buy. When it exits a Mojo stock list, it is not a sell. वो बेचने का नहीं है आपको. It just becomes a hold. तो अगर आपने लेके रखा है उसको होल्ड करना है. Now, number 1. Number 2, then question comes, कभी निकलने का वो मोजो स्टॉक से? It's very simple, and I give you a very crude way of this one. But if the score is below 60 and the script is falling, please exit. If the score is above 60 and if the script is going up, please continue to hold. That's the way you should look at it. Now, you are right, your resources are very limited. How do I move to the next stock? So, Amruta ji, I think what I would request when Om Prakash ji has put a question, I think you can take some cue from there. We do have a model portfolio, and there are 3 kinds of model portfolio on our website: conservative, moderate, and aggressive. My request would be, based on your risk appetite, use model portfolio. Because in model portfolio, we will tell you which company to buy, how much of that company you need to buy. We will tell you when to exit. We not only tell you when you exit, which new company to buy. So it's completely managed in a professional manner. So then you will and second thing, your money का जो पैसा limited money, वो problem निकलेगा. Why? Because you will decide how much money you wish to invest in model portfolio, and automatically your system will keep advising you on buy and sell, and then become a self-sustaining portfolio for you. So that's the way. So आपको झंझट नहीं रखना पड़ेगा कि कभी लेना कभी बेचना. everything will be advised by us. The only thing you need to follow our advice in a very disciplined manner. Abhishek, how to get companies which belong to footwear business? Very simple. The likes of Bata, the likes of Metro, the likes of Liberty, the likes of Active, what we call Campus Activewear, and so on and so forth. They are all in footwear. So the list is available, and you can basically you can go to a website and look at the peer group. I think you'll get to, if you put, for example, Bata, and then search for the peer group. Okay, now let me go there. That makes sense for this one or not. And let me look at the price, for example, and then returns में जाता हूँ मैं, and then looks compared with the peers. Just can you to look at Metro brands is there, Relaxo Footwear is there, Bata, V. So this is about consumption. So that's why you will get V-Guard also, Silla also, Red Tape is also footwear, Campus Activewear is a footwear. So these are companies which are in footwear. So these are the companies that you can look at. Mirza International is footwear, Khadim is footwear, Liberty Shoes is a footwear. So these are the companies which are available as a footwear. So you can now, Metro, Relaxo, Bata, Red Tape, Campus, then you have Mirza, you have Khadim. These are all the footwear companies. Nimesh is saying, so honestly, you are the Warren Buffett for us in terms of learning. Thanks a lot, sir. मैं Warren Buffett का 0.0001% भी नहीं हूँ. So let me put it. Money is not everything, but your knowledge is must, especially in equity market. Lot of respect for you and Mohit sir for guiding retail investors. Soleji, if PMS invest in SME or PSU stocks in larger percentage, or or IT act like a balanced mutual fund or multi-cap funds. Okay. I got your question. So thanks a lot, Nimesh ji, for your compliment. Now, do we invest in SME? We don't invest in SME stocks because of liquidity. Do we invest in PSU stocks in larger percentage? We do on some of the PSU companies in our portfolio. Larger, I don't know how does one define larger percentage, but we do take a good amount of stake on those companies when we invest, because we don't invest smaller percentage on this one. And do we act like a balanced mutual for multi-cap funds? We don't know. We are basically like a multi-cap funds, okay? Or maybe you can say focus funds. It's a multi-cap, but multi-cap focus funds. Because our stocks are normally, doesn't go beyond 15 companies in our portfolio. And we are market cap agnostic. We can invest in large cap also, mid cap also, and small cap also. So it's a complete, but it's a multi-cap, this one. And we don't invest any single rupee in the debt instruments. We are fully 100% invested only in the equity. We do run in PMS little higher risk of both the strategy, but it's compensated by higher returns. And hence we tell investors, please don't come to PMS if your investment horizon is not minimum 3 to 5 years. If you want that money within 3 to 5 years, we said, please don't come to us. In fact, I had one phone call with one of the customers yesterday, and this gentleman did not have a great amount of money with him. His net worth was not so great. And I frankly advise him, please don't come to us, sir. Why? Because we don't want, it's good that you are giving us the money, we can earn some fees, but this product is not suitable for you because the kind of net worth you have and market by nature is volatile. We may try our level best, but for something has to go wrong with the market, there is some black swan event that happens which we have no control on, then your net worth will get eroded, and that will make you little worry. See, if you have 100 crore and 1 crore goes away anywhere, it's not going to move needle for you, am I right? But if you have 1 crore only and 1 crore goes, something happens to you, your behavior will become very different. So we advise that way. So we are very clear cut in our thought process. We want only those investors who can stomach the volatility. We tell investors, if they can't stomach the volatility, we tell them, please take your money back. Because आपको मन की शांति होनी चाहिए. पैसा बनाने तो बहुत अलग बात है, पर आपको मन की शांति नहीं है, तो फायदा क्या उस पैसा बनाने का? So we are not balanced. We don't invest a single rupee in debt. We are multi-cap focus fund in a mutual fund parlance. Satish Swaran is asking, what is your opinion about the sovereign gold bond? Please go please go for sovereign gold bond. I think as a part of your assets allocation, you should have 10 to 15% to gold and silver. So my advice would be, please go ahead and invest in a sovereign gold bond. Sir is saying, my presumption is that mutual funds, especially retailers, are cash calling up to election. Maybe I don't know what is the psyche of those retail investors. Why would they do that? Are they doing the right thing? Are they doing the wrong thing? But the fact of the life is that the data shows that the net inflow has come down. So while SIP inflows remains substantially good, I think the lump sum redemption seems to be happening, and that seems to be saying that some net inflow seems to have come down for the mutual fund. And when I do this data, basically pertains to everything. It pertains to direct, sectoral, ALSS, and so on and so forth. So everything is equity that I say. See, I will always say, that's why I keep telling investors, वो power of compounding कभी नहीं मिलता आपको. If you keep jumping from one to there, you will never enjoy the power of compounding. The power of compounding comes only when you are disciplined. You understand fully that some year would be good, some year would be bad. But let me stick. As long as you have faith in that fund manager, as long as you have faith in the Indian equity market, as long as you have faith in the Indian economy, please remain committed. Every match, Sachin Tendulkar has not scored century, and yet he has been called one of the greatest batsmen in the world. Am I right? Same way fund में भी कोई भगवान है कि every साल वो आपको पैसा बना के दे देगा. कभी वो नहीं भी बनाएगा, कभी वो अंडर परफॉर्म भी करेगा. But what matters is that over a longer period of time, is he able to create? And longer the period, higher the chances. That's where the power of compounding works. So sometimes investors comes and ask me, मैं पैसा बुक कर लेता हूँ, मुझे निकल जाना है, जब मार्केट गिरेगा मैं आ जाऊँगा. मैंने कहाँ पे पैसा डालोगे? बोला पता नहीं वो कहाँ पे डालूंगा. बोला तुमने पैसा निकाल भी दिया, तुमने बैंक FD में डाल भी दिया. ओके, वुड यू नो मार्केट का बॉटम कभी आने वाला है? और जब बॉटम होगा बॉटम इसलिए बना क्योंकि मार्केट में घबराहट है. पीपल आर फियरफुल, दैट्स व्हाई द मार्केट इज हिटिंग द बॉटम. इन दैट केस विल यू बी एबल टू हैव अ गट्स टू पुट मनी? आंसर इज नो. आप नहीं कर पाओगे. आप में गट्स नहीं होगा तभी पैसा डालने के लिए. इनफैक्ट आई टेल यू इन PMS वन कस्टमर, एंड आई एम सॉरी टू फील सॉरी फॉर दैट पर्सन, नथिंग, बिकॉज दिस इज द वे पीपल बोलते हैं ना, नसीब में पैसा नहीं होता तो नहीं बनता है. दैट्स हाउ इट वर्क्स. This person basically filled up all the forms and everything. Account got open, demat account got open, the broking account, everything got open. It came to the funding stage. और फंडिंग स्टेज पे उनका स्टेटमेंट ये था, अभी तो मार्केट चलने नहीं वाला इलेक्शन तक. And that time assembly election result was not out. India alliance was at the peak. He said पता नहीं क्या होने वाला है, तो I don't want to invest. Market made a U-turn from there. And I can tell you with confidence, अभी तक वो बंदा नहीं आया. अभी तक हमारा अकाउंट खुला है उसका, अभी भी फंडिंग नहीं आया. So that gentleman is still waiting for market to correct. और जब करेक्ट हो भी जाएगा तो भी नहीं आएगा. क्यों? Because you are trying to time the market. That's why I said, if you want power of compounding to work in your favor, please, and जो म्यूचुअल फंड में जो करे, मेरे ख्याल से वही करे, मेरे ख्याल से it's not a right thing to do. हाँ, if you don't get convinced of the fund manager philosophy, then निकाल दो. That is nothing wrong with that. Because then what you are doing, you are moving from one to another, the mutual fund scheme or the another fund manager. You are not taking money out of the market. यहाँ पे तो money is going out of the market. Why? Because overall mutual fund का जो पैसा वो निकल रहा है, कम हो रहा है, inflow कम हो रहा है. So it's inflow कम हो रहा है. It's not that people are taking money out. I must tell you. So don't get okay. I think so. What has happened that the inflow is slowing down. It's not that there is a redemption in the mutual fund industry, but inflow is coming down either. But my sense is that SIP inflow is very strong, but there is a net redemption happening on the lump sum basis. So those investors may be taking out money, I don't know for what purpose, but overall there is a net inflow to the mutual fund industry. It just slowed down. The growth has slowed down. Listening to your views, Vikram Singh said your trends for the year should be we just keep away from the market till trend is clear. I'm nearing retirement, would not like to risk my capital. So, Vikram ji, आपने बहुत very pertinent question that you have asked, and I'm very happy that you asked that question. Remember, equity by nature is volatile assets. मैं कुछ trend दूँ क्या नहीं दूँ, it is a risk. That's why my disclaimer says investment in securities market are subject to market risk. Like I have said in 2020 also, I have said in 2021 also, 2022 also, 2023 also, 2024 also, and I'll say this in 2035 also, continuously. So, first thing you must get a clarity, if you can't stomach the volatility, if you can't stomach the downside, please don't put a single rupee in the equity market. For equity market आपके लिए है ही नहीं. बोलता है ना that you need to first understand. जैसे बोलते हैं ना अगर आपको पानी से डर लगता है स्विमिंग आपके लिए है ही नहीं. वैसे अगर आपको रिस्क से डर लगता है तो फिर इक्विटी मार्केट आपके लिए नहीं है. Then you please invest money which are fixed income instruments. Am I right? Now, coming back to a basic question, which is, am I saying that to stay away from the market, still the trend is clear? Sir, market में कभी trend clear होता ही नहीं है. There will always be pluses and minuses. Who makes money, Vikram ji, in the market is the guy who basically remain invested in the equity as an assets class over a longer period of time. In my career, I have seen worst of the worst market. I'll tell you. I started before Harshad Mehta crisis, okay? And then I have seen Harshad Mehta crisis. Very severe. Many people did suicide. Many people swore their family members they will never ever invest in the equity market after that collapse. I have seen Southeast Asian currency crisis. I don't know how many people remember MS scam. Please Google search that. It created a huge crisis. I have seen Y2K boom and bust. I have seen Pokhran nuclear test and sanction on India. I have seen the taper tantrum. I have seen global financial crisis. I have seen global virus crisis. I have gone through. I've seen demon. सर बहुत कुछ देख चुका हूँ मैं. And yet my wealth has grown. The reason because I remain invested in the equity as an assets class. Had I taken a call कि ये साल खराब है निकल जाओ नेक्स्ट साल अच्छा है तो कर जाओ, कभी नहीं बनने वाला पैसा. That's why I said power of compounding. And many people don't understand. I think Albert Einstein has said power of compounding is the eighth wonder of the world or seventh wonder of the world. I don't know whether seventh or eighth, but he said that. And that is true actually. People underestimate the power of compounding. So Vikram ji, since you doesn't want to risk your capital, please don't put single rupee whether the trend is clear or not clear. रखो ही मत. Why? Because there is nothing surety in this market. The best of the best company may not make money for you, and the worst of the company can make money for you. Because your short कुछ नहीं इस market में. So Sajithak is saying, can I withdraw certain amount periodically from expenses after lock-in period? So first, let me make it very clear, there is no lock-in in the PMS. There is no lock-in. What we have is an exit load. Within 1 year, 3%, within 2 years, 2%, within 3 years, 1 year, 1%. But there is no lock-in. आप आपका पैसा जब चाहे तब निकाल सकते हो. Now your question, can I withdraw amount periodically for my expenses? Yes, definitely you can do it. My only request would be, if you really want your power of compounding to work, then don't do it. But there is no restriction on that. You can definitely withdraw money periodically to meet your expenses. My only worry is that you should never be dependent on your running your household expenses on an equity as an assets class, which you need on a monthly basis or something you need a quarterly or yearly basis, because that may not be the great strategy to do that, because equity by nature is a volatile assets class. जब आपको पैसा, जब you'll be forced to get out of the market at the wrong time because you need to meet your monthly expenses. So as a strategy, what I advise investors most of the time, जो पैसा आपको चाहिए मंथली एक्सपेंस के लिए ना, वो फिक्स इंस्ट्रूमेंट डाल के साइड पर रख दो, और जो पैसा नहीं चाहिए आपको 3-5 साल के लिए, वही पैसा आप इक्विटी में डालो. सो यू डोंट रन द डेंजर ऑफ गेटिंग आउट ऑफ द मार्केट एट द रॉन्ग टाइम. सो आमिर इज सेइंग दैट बहुत हो गया आज के लिए. सवाल तो बहुत है लेकिन टाइम थोड़ा कम पड़ गया हमारे लिए. तो एनीवे, हाँ जाबिल, हाँ, तो एनीवे टुमारो विल बी इन फ्रंट ऑफ विथ यू विथ आवर PMS customers. Please do not hesitate to ask questions. We are announcing very interesting, very important announcement we are doing. So those who are attending, those are from PMS, please come and attend without fail. Mohit is also there. The reason why Mohit is there, because it's a very important strategic announcement we are doing on the PMS side. So please come and attend. Those who are not, for them is a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend. I'm not going to bother you on Friday, so you can spend some good quality time with your family members, and see you again next week. With this, thanks a lot. Good night. Take care.